matchup between the Immanuel Lutheran Lancers and the Northwood Pine Eagles. As the Lancers got into the silver bracket as a 7 seed, they will take on the number 6 seeded Eagles with a chance to move on to the silver final. Loser of this will take on Wabanah in the 3rd place matchup. That'll be on either court 2 or 3, with the winner going to court 1 in the silver final to take on Pittsville. Lancers 1-2 on the day, currently 9-9 on the year, with the Eagles being 10-8, 2-1 on the day, and ranked 86th in Wisconsin. That's Koenig going to bump this one up for the Duke. So bounced over the net, and it'll be set back far side. Off the hands of Google back in the air. Start on the cross for Radical, so just bump it over. Then back to the back line, and that one goes long, and the Lancers will start off with a 1-0 lead. And it'll be Luke starting off the Lancers with the serve. Sets one up center. Through the hands of Koenig. Girl gets a piece of it. No one else there to receive it. As the Eagles get it right back and tie it up at 1. Straight to the hands of Starland. Thompson across for Radical. Tipped to the net and drops it down in front of a diving Eagle. Lancers go back up by 1, 2-1. As Schaller will enter in for Starland, and it'll be Thompson back to serve. Down the line, gonna set one back center. Back line, out of play once again. As the Lancers go up by 2, 3-1. Straight center, gonna bump one back on the left side, gonna go across court, diving save from Schaller, back in the air from Thompson for Koenig. Just over the back and tipped back high. Back across right side, tipped at the net, diving attempt from Gurgle, can't get it back in the air. As the Eagles bring it back within 1. 7 Anderson for 12. And the libero number 1 will head back to serve. The back, dug up by Gurgle, tipped back high from Thompson over for Radical. Receives high off into the Eagle bench, gets a piece of it, but ends up going on the wrong side of the net. As the Lancers maintain a 2-point lead, 4-2, with Bartles and Quaid entering back in, and Bartles heading back to serve. Straight out to libero. Sets it across right side off the net, and Bartles can't get there in time. As the Eagles bring it right back within 1, with 10 entering in and heading back to serve. Dug up by Sliding Luke, set up quickly for Quaid down the line, tipped, bumped back up into play. And I'll just bump it over to the hands of Radical. Step back up for Radical, has to lean over to get it, but still drops it down through the hands of a diving Eagle as the Lancers go up now by 2, 5-3. And Radical got the kill. Will now head back to serve, trying to extend their lead. Off the shoulder, gonna get one back high. Steps one up right side. Off the net once again. This time Bartles is there. Radical bump one back to LeDuc. Straight center. Good fake over the net. LeDuc right there to get it. Thompson gonna set one back quickly for Schaller. Cross court, tipped at the net and tipped out of play. 6-3, the Lancers the largest lead here in this set. As Radical heads back once again. Off the net, it drops down. An ace for Radical, and the Lancers up 4. The back, back off her shoulder. Gonna bump one back up. Long way to go. Gonna get it over. Thompson sending across for Leduc. Cross court, back high by the libero. Back up on the run. Roll over the net, right to the hands of Quaid. Gonna go back to Leduc again. To the back line, tipped out of play. The Lancers now up by 5, 8-3. Leduc on her second try, gets it done. And Lancers starting out strong after over a 2-hour break since their last game against Crandon. And they are ready to go off the net and drop it down again. Another ace for Radical as the Lancers go up by 6. Eagles have to think about a timeout here fairly soon. As this one's starting to get away from them early. Radical looking for double digits. Set quickly right side. Good touch over the net. Leduc steps up to get it. Thompson back up for Leduc. Blocked at the net. Radical swing in the air. Can't get it. As the Eagles get it back now within 5. Starland entering back in for Schaller. And lead number 9 back to serve. Lost to the back. Radical right there to get it. Thompson across for Leduc. And into the net. Eagles knock down 2 straight as they bring it back within 4. To the back, Radical will dig it up. Thompson will set one back up for Leduc. Long way to go with it. Gonna get one to the back anyway. Set back up center. Down the line and out of play. Radical lets it go. The Lancers back up by 5 as number 5, Starland, will head back to serve. Sliding save. Going to set one all the way across right side. Tip to the net. Bartles right there to get it. Back up for Leduc again. Good touch over the net. Sets one back row. And up into Thompson. And ends up dropping down on the back line anyway. As the Lancer lead drops back down to 4, 12 will enter in. And it'll be 7 back to serve. Straight to Radical. Starling will send one across for Leduc. Gonna go cross court. Close to the net. Gonna tip one to the back line and dropping it down right in the corner. Radical caught creeping up. As the Eagles bring it now within 3. Right back to Radical. Starling will set one up middle for Thompson. Too close to the net as the Eagles send it right back down. They find themselves now within 2, 10-8. Riding a 3-0 run now are the Eagles. Still serving strong, still scoot over and send it down the line. Radical right there once again. Starling on the run, pump it back up for Leduc. Off the net, diving save back in the air, and back into the net. Lancers hold on to a 3-point lead as the libero enters back in, along with Gurgle for the Lancers for Quaid. And it'll be Gurgle who will head back to serve. Trying to get some of the Lancer lead back. This one will go straight center. Set back. Good touch over the net. Radical on a dive. Leduc trying to tip it over. Ends up getting caught in the net as it rolls back down onto the Lancer side. With the Eagles going right back within 2. Trying to string together a few more as they've gradually worked their way back after going down by as many as 6 and a few opening points. Running save from Radical. Back up for Bartles. Blocked with the net, but onto the Eagles side. Straight up in the air, no one there to cover. As the Lancers go right back up by 3, with Koenig entering back in and Leduc back to serve. Line drive back to the Lancer side. Radical will pump it back over. Close to that. Thompson sends it back. And the Lancers now up 4. And a timeout by the Eagles, 13-9. It'll be Leduc serving when we return. Lancers up by 4 here in the first set. Back for timeout. Lancers up by 4, 13-9. Luke still serving for the Lancers. Trying to bring back the lead they once had. Set across right side. Tips the net. Radical right there to get it. Thompson someone across for Radical. And high off the hands. Goes to net. Koenig sends one back. Back across for Thompson. She'll set one up center for Koenig. And into the net. Eventually called 4 hits on the Lancers. As the Eagles bring it back within 3, 13-10. And now number 6 back to serve. Luke will dig it up. On the run is Thompson. Up for Radical. To the back line. Out of play, untouched. And just like that, the Eagles back within 2, 13-11. Back, Radical someone across. Thompson back up for Radical. High off the hands. Set back up right side as the backup to get it. Fading away, he'll get it over to Radical. Radical again. That one gonna drop down. Lancers back up by 3, 14-11. And now Scheller back in for Starland. Scoreboard says 14-10. Fairly certain that's 11. But if they're not going to change it, I won't complain. Thompson back to serve. Nice spot there. Going to bump one back. Center for the libero. Just a touch over the net. Radical right there to get it. Thompson someone right back to her. Blocked the net. Back in the air by Gurgle. This time back for Schaller. Down the line. Tipped in the air. Into the nets. And the Lancers now up 5, 15-10. We'll take the scoreboard. Back and a bump one back up right side. Steps up to get it. Blocked off the net. Tip back right side again and out of play. And it'll be Thompson back to serve. 16-11, they have corrected the score. It is now a 5-point Lancer lead. 16-11, that is official. Step back across right side again, off the net. Radical on the run, gonna get it back in the air. Thompson will set one back up for Radical. And a diving save, but Libero gets it back up. Once again to the right side. Dropping it down into the hands of Kurgle. And the Eagles get it back now within 4, 16-12. Back, Gurgle will step back to get it. Thompson across for Radical. Off the hands of Libero, right back to the Lancer side. Koenig is there. Thompson again for Radical. Off the net, tipped out of play. Ends up working out for the Lancers. Radical sends one straight into the top of the net, just enough to force its way over. Eagles reacted quickly, but ended up sending it backwards. As the Lancers go up by 5 now, 17-12. Bartles will enter in and he'll head back to serve along with Quaid. Corner, line drive back to the net, gonna set one up quickly back row, blocked to the net by Radical. Back up right side, into the nets, and the Lancers now up 6 once again. Good fake over the net, Thompson right there to get it. Charlotte will send one across for Radical. Good touch, running save. So this one back left side. Blocked net by Radical again, and this one gonna drop down. 19-12, the Lancers up by 7. As Bartles heads back once again, looking for the 20s. And off the top of the net, gonna give it right back to the Eagles. Lancers maintaining a 6-point lead now. Number 10 will enter in, and he'll head back to serve. Got a work cut out for trying to keep this one close as Lancers just 6 points away from taking the first set. To the hands of Radical. Thompson back up for Quaid. Tips it to net, diving save, it's back up. Saved off the net, and he'll bump one out of play. And now Radical back to serve with a 7-point lead, 22-13. Number 4 Leonard in for 17. This one to the back, sent back high. Back off to the right, tip to the net, radical net die, back in the air from Quaid. Leduc can't get it over. Tough angle, and just sends it a little bit short onto the Lancers side. Starlin enters back in for Schaller, and number 9 heads back to serve, down by 6, 20-14. By Radical. Thompson will set one back up for Quaid on the run. Blocked the net, tip back off the net. Leduc gets it back in the air. Onto the Eagles side. Send right back. Bortles is there. Across for Leduc. Into the net. 20-15, back to a 5-point game. To the back, Radical right there to get it. Thompson will set one across for Leduc on the run. Blocked at the net, but out of play. 21-15, the Lancers back up by 6. And it'll be Starlin back to serve. Sent deep to the back, miss hits. Gonna have to bump it back up right side. Back across for Leduc again. Tipped at the net. Sent back up. Back across the right side once again, cross court, out of play. And the Lancers now up 7. And they're going to change it to Lancers in the net, as that'll go back to the Eagles. So instead of a 7-point Lancer lead, the Eagles serve as they're now within 5. Back under the net, going to go back to the Lancers anyway, now up by 6. 22-16 as Libero on the one will enter in. Gurgle enters in for Quaid, and it'll be Gurgle back to serve. Sends one back high, quick set. Radical on the run, going to get it back in the air. Bortles off the net, tipped over by Starland. Back across right side. Smith locked it over it. Starlin mishits it. Was there and ready for it, but just off the tips of her fingers and out of play. As the Eagles cut it back down to 5, 22-17. 8 enters in for 10, and it'll be 17 heading back to serve. To the back, Gurgle wisely lets it go. Walked back with it, hesitated, ended up letting it go at the last second, out by about 3 inches. As Koenig enters in for Bartles, and Leduc back to serve just 2 points away after a timeout from the Eagles. 23-17, Lancers up 6 here in the first set. Back for the timeout. 23-17, Lancers have held a firm lead this whole game. And right now up by 6, just 2 points away from taking the first set. Back up in the back, close to the net, bounce off the net. And that'll be 4 hits on the Eagles. 24-17, a 7-point Lancer lead, and now it's Leduc back for the win. Good spot, sent back. Quickly set up left side and into the net. 25-17 is your set 1 final score. As the Lancers win it by 8. They'll have a chance to end this 1-2 and move on to the silver final, which will be right after this game. Lancers playing right after this game no matter what, whether they win or lose. Currently with a 1-set lead, 25-17. We'll be back for the second set in about 3 minutes. are back for the second set. Lancers winning the first one 25-17 by 8. And they will try to end it in 2 sets as it'll be Leduc back to serve, who ended up winning it for the Lancers in that first set. She'll start him off here in the second set as well, trying to end this one in 2. As Lancers lost their first 2 here today and beat Crandon, and now just once away from winning their second straight. They get themselves back to 2-2 on the day before heading off to the silver final, which will be taking on Pittsville. To the back, tipped high, running save back up in the air, and he'll touch it to the back. Leduc is there to get it. Thompson back up for Radical. Laser down the line, off her hands and out of play. And the Lancers go up 1-0 early. Dug up in the back. Gonna set one over that cross right side into the net. That'll be 4 hits on the Eagles as the Lancers go up 2-0. And number 2 Leduc back to serve once again. Good spot to the corner. Sets it up quickly. Center, and just touch it over. Starling right there. Thompson back out, sends it over to Radical again, and she'll knock down another. 3-0 as the Lancers go off strong. Picking up right where they left off at the end of that first set. Started out with a big lead in that first set, 8-3. Already at 3 here off the first 3. Sunshine center. Back right side. The back got to play untouched by the Lancers as they go up 4-0. Here goes the libero. Miscommunication. Running save back in the air. Long way to go. They're going to get it over. Radical back across for Koenig. She'll touch it to the back. Diving save back in the air. Sets it across right side. And handled by Gurgle. Back across for Radical. She'll knock down another. Off the hands of a diving Eagle. As the Lancers now go up 5-0. And the run from Leduc will continue. The back corner. Readjust, gonna set one back. Blocked net by Radical, and it'll drop down. Radical, a couple of kills and a block, and her team up by 6 here to start. See Cooney in the back, gonna set one back. Along the net, we'll see by Thompson. Canning will bump it up for Thompson. Trying to touch it over, ends up just grabbing it, and it'll drop down to the floor. With a very strong start for the Lancers, 6-1, up by 5. Down the line, Radical there. Gurgle trying to send it back up, and off the ceiling, and the wall. 6-2, the Eagles bring it back within 4 with 8 still serving. Sorry, 6 still serving. See by Radical. Miscommunication by Thompson and Leduc. Both went, both backed off, and it's a 3-point game. To the back, Radical on the run. Thompson gets someone back up for Koenig. And Lancers in the net. 6-4, and now a 4-0 on their own for the Eagles. After a strong Lancer start, could do no wrong. Now they're struggling to even return it. With number 6 still serving. To the back corner, out of play. 7-4, they'll get it back. And it'll be Thompson back to serve, with Schaller entering in for Starland. Steve Queenly center. Sets it across right side off the net, and no one there to get it. Koenig went out for the block, couldn't get back position in time. No one went to cover. And it's back to a 2-point game with 7 entering in. And the libero number 1 heading back to serve. To the back, received by Radical. Thompson across for Radical. Blocked at the net. Koenig there to get it. Back up for Radical again. Blocked again. Received by Leduc. Radical again. Blocked again. And it'll drop down. 3 straight blocks for the Eagles. They're fired up and they're now within 1. Larson will let her in for Koenig. And the Eagles with a chance to tie it up here. Skimming along that sliding save from Leduc off the net. Thompson can't get there in time. And we're tied at 7. From a 6-0 Lancer lead to tied at 7. Drastic change as the Eagles now have a chance to take a lead. Right to Radical. Thompson bump one up for Radical. Blocked, but into the net. As the Lancers maintain a 1-point lead, 8-7. Bartles and Quaid in for Gurgle and Larson. And it'll be Bartles back to serve, trying to get the Lancer lead back to what it was. Had a 6-0 lead, now cut down to only 1. See if they can go on a bit of a run here. Received by Libero. Set across right side. Right down the line, Bartles gets it back up and over the net. Gonna give one right back to her. Blocked with the net by the Lancers, sitting back high. This time gonna go center. And dropping it down. Under the hands of a sliding Gurgle. Sorry, Bartles. As the Eagles tie it right back up at 8. Blocked to the back, Radical right there to get it. Thompson will set one up for Quaid. Sliding save of the Libero. Save back off the net. Long way to go. It'll just tap it over. Received by Leduc. Thompson back up for Quaid. Into the net. And the Eagles go up by 1, 9-8. Down the line out of play. And the lead doesn't last. The game ties itself back up by 9. With now Radical back to serve. Good spot, high off the center. Here's just tap one over, Leduc is there. Thompson back up for Leduc. Tipped at the net and under the corner line. Lancers go up by 1, 10-9. And it's Radical back once again, trying to bring up the Lancer lead. Center. Set across, right side on the run, cross court, out of play. Lancers go up by 2, 11-9. Up the top of the net. And the Eagles hit double digits, bringing themselves back to win 1. As Starlin is in for Schaller. And number 9 will head back to serve. The back, Radical's there. Thompson back up for Leduc. Blocks the net to the hands of Starland. Thompson back up for Leduc again. Out of play. But they're going to say Eagles in the net. As the Lancers go right back up, and they'll get the serve back. Heading back for Starland. Straight center will adjust, get it back in the air, bumps one back. They'll just tap it over. Diving save from Radical. Thompson back up in the air for Leduc again. And straight to the back. Bump back across back row, fading away to get it. Tipped back high by Quaid, and someone's in the net. And it's the Lancers. And now number 7 back to serve. Good spot. Luke will step up to get it. Bumped right back for Leduc and into the net. Eagles go up by 2, 13-11. Down the line, dug up by Radical. Starlin sets one back for Thompson. Blocked the net. Tipped back high by Thompson. Sent right back again. Radical there. Bump back high for Leduc again. Good spot down the line. Set back up. Blocked by Leduc. Sets one back again. And she's going to have to bump it over. And no one there to get it. Thompson was getting ready for the set. No one stepped up to get it. Scoreboard messed up a little bit. Right now it says 13-12. Not sure if that's accurate. They've changed it a few times. But that's what we're going to go with. 13-12. Eagles up by 1. Set across for Thompson. Sliding save. And set one back across right side. To the hands of Radical. And miscommunication by Thompson, Starlin. Both setters. Both back out of the way. As the Eagles now take a 2-point lead. 14-12. Down the line, Luke sends one high. Back over for her. Receive center. Back up center. Straight to the hands of Radical. Again for Leduc. And awry off the hands of a running Eagle. Hit her hands and just went straight down. She seemed a tad confused by it. Lancers now within 1, 14-13. As Gergelinder's back in for Quaid. And they dribble back to serve with a chance to tie it up for the Lancers. From tie, we'll set one back left side. Into the nets. And we're tied back up at 14. Trying to go down the line, ends up sending it too far out of play. As the Eagles go back up by 1, 15-14. Couple of subs entering in, along with number 17, who will head back to serve for the Eagles. Back, received by Radical. Starlin sets one up for Thompson. Sold off into the back, but too far. 16-14 Eagles right back up by 2. Still serving strong. The hands of Leduc. Back across for Bartles. Cross court. Sets it back left side. Offensive Thompson out of play. And the Lancers now down 3. And a timeout by the Lancers. After winning the first set 25-17, now down 17-14 here in the second. Timeout, 17-14, Lancers down 3 after having a 6-point lead as Luke sends a line over the nets. Diving save, back up right side, and blocked by Thompson. Tip back up and over, but out of play. Regardless, that's a lift. Lancers now within 2, 17-15, with Caney entering in, and Leduc heading back to serve. This is what the Lancers want as they start off with a 6-0 run with Leduc serving. See what they can do with the air. Set back row. To the back. Gurgle's there. Thompson back up for Radical. Good touch. Tipped out of play. And Lancers now within 1. And they're going to say Radical in the net. And the call will be changed to now Eagle points. Diving save from Radical back to the Eagle side. So back cross right side, cross court block. Net sent back high. Back to the right side again. This time going to get it across. Radical there to get it. Thompson back up high for Radical on the rung and a lofted over. Bump back right side. Cross court, Gurgle's there. Close to the net. Caney can't save it. Should have gone up with it. And now the Eagles up by 4, 19-15. Not in the net call, crucial for the Lancers. Had it within one instead. A few moments later, we're now down 4, 19-15. Eagles looking for the 20s to the back. Radical sends one high. Thompson back up for Radical. Blocked net without a play. 19-16, Lancers back within 3. And it'll be Thompson back to serve with Schaller entering back in for Starland. Send him back up into play and touched over. Gurgle is there. Thompson back up for Radical. To the back, someone's in the net, and this time it's the Eagles. 19-17, Lancers within 2. Back, diving save, gonna bump it back up on the run, so gonna have to touch it over. And Thompson takes a swipe at it. Luke was there. And ends up sending it out of play as the Eagles go right back up by 3, 20-17. Back, received by Gurgle. Thompson will set one back up for Radical on the run. Tipped at the net and drops down the back line anyway. 20-18, Lancers right back within 2 with Quaid and Bartles entering, and Bartles heading back to serve. Back, sets one up right side, blocked the net by Schaller. Right side again. This time he's lofted up. Thompson is there to get it. Quaid will bump one across for Radical. Good touch, diving, save up and out of play. Lancers within 1, 20-19. Bartles now with a chance to tie. Receive center on the run, gonna bump one back high right side. Cross court out of play, and we're tied at 20. And a timeout by the Eagles. Back and forth game, Lancers the large lead, Eagles the large lead. Now we're deadlocked at 20. We'll be back in a minute. Back to the timeout, tied at 20. Bartles still serving. Not anymore. Sends it into the net as the Eagles take back a 1-point lead, 21-20. As 10 and 14 enter, and 10 heads back to serve. Received by Leduc. Schaller on the run will send him back for Quaid, and she'll bump it over. Received in the back, and set one up quickly. Center, fading away. Bartles on a dive, can't get it back in the air. As the Eagles get back up by 2, 22-20. The back, Bartles steps up to get it. Schaller will bump it across for Radical back row. Receive cleanly in the back, and instead of the cross right side, Radical up to get it, blocks it out of play! And the Eagles now up by 3. Right after the timeout, Lancers feeling the momentum, and Eagles just shifted right back, 23-20, just 2 points away from taking the second set and sending us to a third. To the corner, received by Radical. Thompson sets one up for Quaid, sent right back by the Eagles. as they go up by 4, 24-20, and now just 1 point away. And after the timeout, 24-20, a 4-point lead for the Eagles. They're 1 point away from taking the second set and forcing a third. Off the net, Dunny to Thompson, and he'll drop down. An ace will end it. We're heading to a third. At 25-17, the Lancers take the first one. 25-20, the Eagles take the second. And we'll be back in 3 minutes for the third set to 15 with the winner heading on to the silver bracket final. We are back for the third and final set. Lancers taking the first one. Eagles coming back and taking the second to force the third. They will start the starting here with an ace off the hands of Gurgle. 1-0 Eagle lead to start, with the winner going on to take on Pittsville on court 1, which is currently empty, and the loser going over to court 2, which just got over as well for the third place game. Running save by Starland and out of play as the Eagles go up 2-0. Back, received by Leduc. Starland on the pump it back for Thompson. Out of play again. An early timeout for the Lancers. They're down 2-0. Should be 3-0. Back from the timeout, Lancers down 3-0 as they have struggled to return it here in this third set. Set across for Thompson, she'll just touch it over. Running save will set it across right side. Took the net, Radicaler to get it. Back across for Thompson again. Into the block and dropping down to the floor as the Lancers now bring it now within 3-1. one dug up in the back, and a set up quickly center. Gurgle on a dive, gets it back in the air, send across for Radical on a standstill. Cross court to the libero. Sets one back left side, blocked at the net, and drop it down onto the line. As the Lancers bring it back within 2, and now with a chance to tie it up. It'll be Leduc back to serve. Lancers in their second set 3 of the day. Lost their first one against Lakeland 17-15. They did come back in that one to force extra points at the very least. This one touched on that received by Starland. Set across for Radical. And we are tied at 3. Back into the net. And now Leduc, chance to give them a lead, riding a 3-0 run. Good spot, dug up in the back, and a set one back row. Received by Gurgle. Right to Thompson, up for Radical. She'll knock down another. Off the hands, number 17 out of play. And Lancers on a 4-0 run, now up by 1, 4-3. Receiving back by Libero, gonna set one back. Good touch over the net. Starling runs up to get it. Thompson back up for Radical again. Blocked at the net to Luke, back in the air. Radical once again, good touch, tip back up in the air, and touched over. Put out of play. Lancers now lead 5-3, and the scoreboard's off again. Set across right side, and the run's going to touch it over. Good spot. Starling on a dive, can't make it there in time. The scoreboard corrects itself. Lancers now up only by 1, 5-4. Back, Gurgle wisely lets it go. Once again, last second decision. Saw where she was, saw where the ball was heading, ends up letting it go. Good decision. Lancers up by 2 now, 6-4, with Schaller entering in and Thompson heading back to serve. Down the line, on the run, gonna get it back in the air. Sets them back across right side, into the net. Lancers now up 3, 7-4. And a timeout by the Eagles. 1 left for each team here in the third set. Lancers up 3 currently, 7-4. Back from timeout, 7-4. Lancers up 3 here in the third set. With the winner heading on to the silver bracket final. Thompson still serving. This one dug up in the back, sent back up on the run, and just touched over. Chance for Lancers here. Thompson up for Radical. Blocked out of play, and the Lancers double up 8-4. Putting in the back, bump back off the nets. Received by Gurgle. Back across for Radical. She'll knock down another cross court onto the line. Lancers up 5, just 6 points away. One back high, close to the net. Gonna set one back off it. Fading when he get it. It's enough to get it over. Schaller back up for Koenig. Crossing to the back, too far. 9-5. The Eagles break the run and bring themselves back within 4. 7-9ers for 12. And the libero, number 1, heads back to serve. Received by Radical. Across for Radical again. Blocked the net. Radical back up in the air and over the net. Diving save, gets back in the air and set to the back. Luke backpedaling to get there. Again for Radical. This one out of play, untouched, but the Eagles in the net as the Lancers go up by 5, 10-5. And Bartles will enter in for Koenig, along with Quaid for Gurgle. And it'll be Bartles back to serve, just 5 points away. Into the net, and it'll go right back to the Eagles within 4. By Radical. Schaller will send one across for Quaid. Good touch off the net and drops down. Lancers now up 5, 11-6 as Radical heads back to serve for the Lancers. And the Rebels, who are in the 3rd place game, move over to their court, getting ready for their game coming up in a few moments. Set up. Down to the corner off the as the Eagles bring it back within 4, 11-7. Dug up by Radical. Thompson will send one across for LeDuc. Diving save, that one off into the net. As the Lancers go up 5, 12-7. Starland in for Schaller. And it'll be Starland back to serve. Clean in the back, sets it across right side to the net. Bartles gonna get it back up across for LeDuc. Good touch, diving save back in the air. Across right side again. Radical's there. Thompson gonna try. No, Starling gonna take a touch on it. Over for LeDuc, will bump it over. Back up center. Diving save Radical again. LeDuc across for Quaid, and she'll bump it over. Back set left side. Cross court tip by Thompson. No one there to get it. And the Eagles bring it back within 4, 12-8 as Pittsville now, who is in the silver bracket final, moves over to court 1 as they will start getting ready for their game. Number 7 now back to serve. Sliding safe from LeDuc. Touched across by Thompson. Quaid fading away. Tips the net and handled in the back. Set up center. In the hands of Radical. Back up for LeDuc. Blocked to the net. LeDuc back in the air. Radical one hands backs up. And Thompson will bump it over. Good spot. Tip twice into the net. Starting again. This time for LeDuc. That one's going to drop down. A big old hole right in the middle. Lancers just 2 points away, up 5. Girdle enters in for Quaid. And it'll be Girdle back to serve. Back for Steve Quinley. Sets it across right side. Right to the hands of Radical. Back across for Bartles. Good touch of the net, running safe. Bumps one back right side. And back to Radical. For Bartles again. Steve Quinley in the back. Gonna set it back across right side on the run. Good touch. Bartles on a dive. Back in the air. Thompson sets it back up for Radical. Sorry for Bartles. And still trying to recover off of her dive. And ends up sending it into the net. 13-9, Eagles back within 4. Teams trading points here towards the end. But the Lancers just need a couple more of those, and they're walking out of here with a win. Number 17 back to serve. Radical stuffs up to get it. Back up center for Thompson. Good spot from Thompson! Getting around the block and dropping it down in the back line. Koenig in for Bartles, 14-9. Lancers up 5. And it's LeDuc back to win it. Had a nice run to end the first set. Only needs 1 to end it here. Sliding save. Gonna set one back. Left side. Blocked by Radical. But onto the Lancer side. And the Eagles gonna get one last chance. Down by 4, 14-10. Gonna need 4 straight to keep this one going. Running save, but LeDuc gets it back up. Koenig will send one up for Thompson. Blocking the net onto the Eagles side, sent back high and touched over. Radical back in the air. Girdle tries to readjust but can't do it. But the Eagles in the net. So the Lancers take the final set 15-10 after taking the first one 25-17, dropping the second 25-20, pull it out in the end, get the win, and get a 500 record here at the tournament. We'll have a chance to get a winning record at the tournament and win the silver bracket. That's coming up in 15 minutes over on court 1. I will turn it off and turn it right back on as soon as I get over there. Lancers win it 2-1 as they will head to the silver bracket final.